Hey guys, hello and welcome to another video. In this class we're going to learn something about the principal line, and this is so important, especially if you work with an iPhone. And this is important to know this basic concept, because if you have an iPhone that is not power on, so you have to know how the principal lines work and which problem you can have when you are facing on an iPhone that is not powered. So welcome to another video. Okay guys, so in this class we're going to learn something basic, okay? And this is something that I always explain to my students in Spanish community. And this is because when you are facing an iPhone that is not powered, this is the first step that you always had to do. Okay, the first step, I always had a step in each repair. So when I have an iPhone that is not powered on, this is the first thing I always check, especially in the iPhone 12 Pro. Sometimes you guys can have iPhone with no power, okay? And sometimes just because some resistor is not present for some drop or some damage. So you have to check these principal lines, okay? I have some motherboards right here, iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, but these work the same in the another iPhone models, okay? So remember when you have an iPhone, okay, and you connect your power supply, you never had to have some consumption, right? Okay, so for example, right here I have my power supply with 4.2 voltage, and if you see, I don't have any consumption. Only this, but this is because I have, for example, this light right here, so it's nothing, right? So for example, if I connect this iPhone to my power supply, so you only can see right here 5, right? This is nothing. And when I connect my power supply, see, I don't have any consumption. Just this one, but this one always is nothing, okay? Just 1 milliamps. This is nothing, okay? So the first thing is, when you have an iPhone that is not powered on, you have to check if you have the right voltage in the principal lines, okay? Because remember, these lines are the ones that are going to provide the power for our PMIC. And then when we press the button, the power button, so the phone is going to start to power on, right? And the PMIC is going to start producing the LDOs and the bugs, okay? But to the PMIC provides the bugs and LDOs, the first thing that our PMIC had to have is the principal lines, okay? It's a little bit hard to me in English, but I'm going to try to explain you this, okay? So right now, let me bring my iPad, okay? So we have one circuit on our phone that we call this one PMIC or PMU, is the same thing, okay? So the PMIC or the PMU, this is the one provide voltage, for example, 3 voltage for our NAND, okay? 1 point voltage for CPU, 1 point voltage for touch, okay? A lot of voltage, right? For CPU, for RAM, for all the audio, charge, etc., right? So this circuit is very important in our phone, okay? Because this provide all the voltage for our phones. But for these circuits to have this voltage, when we press the power button, right? When we press the power button, so the PMIC start working and produce these lines. But the first thing is to have all this voltage, the PMIC first had to have the principal lines. For example, VDD main and VDD boost. These are the battery lines, okay? So this is the first thing that the PMIC had to have, and then when we press the power button, So we are going to have the voltage for the CPU, for our NAND, for CPU, for touch, for audio, etc., right? So sometimes some people, some technicians forget to check this line, and they have sometimes, for example, VDD boost with 1.8 voltage, and we always had to have VDD boost with the voltage of our power supply. So the first thing is we had to check these lines, okay? And I have some example here to show you why it's so important to check all these lines, okay? So the first thing is I have this motherboard, and this is an iPhone 7 Plus, and this one is Intel. Okay, so I have iPhone 7 Plus Intel, okay? These work the same in each model. So iPhone 7 to iPhone 13 Pro Max 14 is the same thing, okay? So when we are going to check this line, the first thing that we had to check is we had to check in diode mode, okay? So the first line that we had to check is this line, the PP-BAT BCC. This is our first line because we are connecting our battery or our power supply to this line. So this is the first line that we had to check. So I'm going to connect my my multimeter. I'm going to connect the proofs here, and I'm going to show you something, okay? So I'm going to bring my multimeter, my microscope, sorry. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to check with diode mode, okay? I'm going to put the multimeter right here, and I'm going to check the positive line. These motherboards are for parts, so that's why is this board missing a lot of parts, but this just to show you some examples, okay? So I'm going to check this line, okay? This line, see, the diode mode is 422 millivolts, okay? This is the range that we have in this line. So I'm going to bring my iPad and I'm going to show you something. So we have the first line is PP-BAT BCC, okay? And we have a connector with a positive and with a negative, right? And a negative, okay? When we connect this our battery or our power supply, so is one line start. This line have PP-BAT BCC, and this one have 422 millivolts in diode, right? Okay, this is the first thing. And then if we check this one, so you see how many components this line is powered, right? So see, I have a capacitor right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors. And then if we see the B board, I have one component right here and one component right here, okay? This is our Tigris, and this is one MOSFET, okay? Okay, so I'm going to draw these two components. So like I told you, these lines come first to one circuit. These circuits we know for Tigris. And then we have another circuit right here that we know for our MOSFET, okay? U2101, and the another one is 2101, okay? This is our two components, okay? So sometime if is some right here we have, sorry, and some we have some capacitors, right? We have like 6 capacitors, okay? This is our first line. And then imagine this, okay? Imagine that inside of this component is like a connection between another line. Inside of these two components, we are going to have another principal line, okay? Another principal line that we are going to call this one VDD main. Okay, this is our second principal line. And when we connect our power right here, imagine this circuit is connecting together, okay? Just to have an example here, okay? Just to have some easy understanding of this, okay? Because this one is a little bit more complex, but I'm going to try to show you the easy way, okay? So VCC main is born from these circuits or from these circuits. Is the same thing. We also can remove the Tigris and the phone is still going to power on because the MOSFET is providing the VCC main. Okay, or we can remove the MOSFET and we are still going to have an iPhone that is going to power on because the main is born from the Tigris. Okay, so knowing this, I'm going to come back right here. Okay, and if we can see inside of these circuits, we have VDD main, and inside of the MOSFET, we have VDD main. If we click VDD main, see how many components this line is powering, right? This line is attaching to so many components. For example, the AT, this is the PMIC for PAs. This is the Trinity. This is, for example, the audio something, right? A lot of capacitors, coils. See how many circuits, for example, these circuits, backlight circuits, chestnut, audio, so many components. See, PMIC. This is our PMIC. So many components, a lot of components. So we have this line. So this line has some, for example, some circuits, a lot of circuits. I'm going to put, for example, 10 circuits. And this line is just coming right here, have some capacitors. I'm going to draw a lot of capacitor right here, another capacitor right here. So another capacitor right here, right? Okay, just like that. Okay, so this line is VDD main. Okay, VDD main. Okay, so I'm going to bring the this one, and I'm going to show you, right? Okay, so the battery lines come and go inside to this component, right? So we have right here the battery line, and then we have something here that inside of these components we are going to have our main. Okay, so if we click, for example, if I want to check the VDD main, for example, I can check this line. I don't know, I can check this line and this capacitor close to the MOSFET. This capacitor is main. Okay, I'm going to check and diode mode at VDD main. Okay, so I'm going to come back right here and I'm going to check this capacitor, this one, and I'm going to check and diode mode which is the value. Okay, so we have 300, around 300, right? Okay, so 300 is diode mode and main, 300 millivolts and diode. Okay, that's it. And then, okay, we still have one more line. This line we are going to call VDD bus. VDD bus is almost like the brother of the VDD main. They are brothers. Okay, so we are going to have another circuits. These circuits we are going to call these circuits boost. iPhone 7 and up, all these models have one circuits that we are going to call boost IC. And inside of a boost IC, these main and boost are connecting together, and we have a new line that we are going to call VDD boost. And this line, if we come back right here, for example, in iPhone 7, we have VDD boost right here. Okay, so if we click VDD boost, see, right here is main, right here is boost. This is the boost IC. Okay, and the boost IC say when VDD main is below 3.4 voltage, boost to 3.4 voltage. Otherwise, track VDD main. So I'm going to explain these circuits later. Okay. So for example, VDD boost, we have this capacitor right here on the top of the PMIC. So I'm going to check this capacitor, okay? And I'm going to check and diode mode this line right here, okay? Right here. I'm going to check and diode mode, watch the value. and I have 380. Okay, 380. 380 and diode mode and VDD boost. So VDD boost, I have 380 millivolts and diode mode. Okay, so this is our three principal lines: battery, main, and boost. This is, for example, like a freeway. We can have like a freeway like this. Okay, this is our freeway, right? Okay, this is our freeway, and then we have some checkpoints right here. This is our first checkpoint, and this is another checkpoint. Okay, this we call bat, we call this one main, and this one we call boost. Okay, this is the same freeway, so cars are going to passing all the checkpoints and nothing is wrong. So now remove the cards and put voltage and current, right? So voltage and currents are flowing to this freeway, okay? And the pass, they are going to have some circuits, and more circuits, right? Okay, so this is the first thing that we had to understand. Principal lines, okay? And then what happened if I connect my my power supply? What happens if I just come and connect my power supply with 3.9 voltage? Okay, 3.9 voltage right here. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to come back right here and I'm going to start with the same line. Battery. Okay, battery. I have a test points right here, and I'm going to bring my microscope, and I'm going to check in voltage. Okay, how much? No. What's the voltage in this line? Okay, I have in my power supply 3.9. So there is the test point, and I have 3.9, right? 3.9. Okay, 3.9. If I come back right here, I'm going to say that battery have 3.9 voltage. Okay, and this one I have 3.9 voltage. Okay, now what happened with main? Main, if we come back to our microscope, and I'm going to check for main. Okay, so remember the 3.9 voltage come to these two circuits, right? So, and then we are going to have this one is battery, and then inside are connected to main, and main is this capacitor. So in main we have this one. What happened? I have the ground bad. Okay, see, I have 3.9, and this one is main. Okay, this one is main, so it's a different line, but they are connected together. So 3.9 voltage in main. If I come back right here in main, I have 3.9 voltage, right? And then remember, we still have one more line that we are going to call boost. Main come to this circuit, and then this circuit is connected inside with a main, and then this is a boost, right? And in boost we are going to have, see, 3.9 voltage. So if I come back right here to my iPad, okay, I'm going to have in VDD boost 3.9 voltage. Right here I have 3.9 voltage. Okay, that's it. This is our principal lines. This is the first thing that you always had to check when you have an iPhone that is not powered on. You had to check the value and diode mode the right measurement, and then you had to have the right voltage in each lines, because sometimes, for example, you can have 3.9 voltage, but you can have a leak in main, for example, and then is no the enough current for the PMIC to power on the phone. So the first thing is always do this. Okay, so now I have some example for you. Okay, I'm going to show you some example. So imagine I have this board right here. Okay, and this board, we never had to have some consumption. It's hard in English. I don't know in English. Okay, if I connect this, okay, this to my power supply, and then I'm going to power on the phone. See what I'm going to have right here? See, I have almost 5 amps of current. So I have a problem right there. You have to understand this, please. Always when you have a consumption, when you have anything, for example, 20 milliamps, 100 milliamps, 1 amps, 4 amps, any value in the first step. So when you connect the battery and you have a consumption there, you have some value in your power supply, you always have a problem in the principal lines. Don't go anywhere, just focus in the principal lines. So for example, in this phone, if I power on my my iPower, for example, right, I have a consumption right here. So we have a problem in the principal lines. And remember, we have 3 principal lines, right? So we have to know in which of the lines we have the problem. So for example, this one is easy, okay? It's just some easy basic things to show you. So the first thing is we have to check battery lines and diode. This is the first thing, and diode. So I'm going to check in diode how much I have in this one. I have 360 something. So this is good. Remember this, okay? So for example, this one. And main, in battery, we have 422. Right here we have, for example, 370. So it's good, okay? So now I'm going to come here and remember that this one is going to be the MOSFET and the Tigris, right? This is iPhone 7 Qualcomm. Okay, iPhone 7 Qualcomm. And if I come back right here, so I know this one is going to be VDD main, okay? So I'm going to check main on this one. Okay, I'm going to check for main. And I had to have around like 300. And I have 0. And I have right here 0. See? This is the positive and I have 0. So I know right now my problem is in main. So my work right now is I had to check in which of all these components I have the problem, right? Because some component of this one, for example, some capacitor are bad. This one is bad. So this one is causing me that when I connect my power with 3.9 voltage and 5 amps, so all the current is going to battery right here, battery, and then this one is connected and I have a problem right here. Okay, but if you can see this one, so if you can see, I say before they are the same line, okay? But when we have a problem, so for example, right now we have a problem in main. So we have an accident right here. So when we have an accident, so the checkpoint, they say, okay, I'm going to close this one. No more cards right here and no more cards right here because we have a problem right here. Okay, so but we had to check each one separately. We had to check first battery and then main and then boost just to know where is the accident, and then we had to start injecting some voltage. I'm going to show you how to find shorts in another video. Okay, just leave the comments if you want this video. Okay, so this one we have a problem in main, right? This is easy. So I have another example right here. Okay, this one. I have this one, and right now I'm going to connect it. Okay, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to put this one. Okay, so I'm going to power on. See, I have 1 amp. 1 amp. 1 amp when I connecting just the battery without doing the power on, the power button. I'm not clicking the power on button. I'm just providing the voltage from my power supply. That's it. I'm just connecting the battery. That's it. And I have a problem. I have a consumption in the first step. So this one, we know we have a problem in the principal lines. Okay. So we had to check in which line we have this problem, right? So the first thing is battery. Let me see if we have the problem in battery. Okay. I'm going to check this one. We have to have around like 400. See, this one is good for something. Now I had to check main. Main is this one. I have 300. Okay, now I had to check BDD boost. If BDD boost is this one. See, I have 0 and I have 0. So right now in this example, I have an accident or I have a problem in boost. So battery is good, main is good, and boost we have a problem. So right now we know the problem is in boost. So I only had to focus on the components that boost is providing the voltage because the problem is in BDD boost. Okay, we understand that? Okay, now I have another example right here. Okay, sometimes you can have a consumption, a principal consumption, and you can have a phone that is power on, but the problem is going to be because it's going to drain the battery fast. Or sometimes you can have a first consumption when you just connect the battery and you're going to have a phone without power on. Okay, is so different. Okay, but the thing I want to teach you in this class is I don't care any value of the first consumption that we have. Can be 4 milliamps, 40 milliamps, 400 milliamps, 4 amps, anything. You always had to focus on the principal lines and the circuits that these principal lines are providing the voltage and the current. Okay, so for example, let me show you this one. This is another good example. Okay, this is another good example. So see this one. I have 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 31 milliamps in the first step. So I have a problem on my principal line. So we had to check in which line we have the problem, right? So I'm going to come right here. And the first thing that I'm going to check, battery. Okay, battery. I'm going to check for battery. We have 400. This one is good, right? Okay, it's good. And then we are going to check main. Okay, main, we have 300. That's good. And then I'm going to check boost. Boost is this circuit. And I'm going to check for this one. See? And how much I have in boost? 380. What happened there? What happened if I just told you that battery is good, main is good, and boost is good? What happened? And I still have 20 milliamps or consumption. I have a problem. But why all these 3 lines are good? Why? And I still have this consumption. So you have to understand this, okay? Sometimes because we are doing in diode mode, we are checking diode mode parallel to ground. So we had to have a problem with some circuits or some component that is having a problem with ground. But sometimes imagine this. Imagine that we have one principal line right here, okay? This is a principal line, for example, VDD main. This line have 4 voltage, 5 amps, okay? And then we have the current follow this thing right here, right? So imagine that we have one circuit. This is my circuit. This is my IC. And we have main right here. I have main right here. And I have main right here. Okay, this is main. So I'm providing 4 voltage, 5 amps. So remember that one circuit, some sectors, some like a rooms, right? Inside of a circuit, we are going to have sectors, okay? So what happens if these circuits have a problem in this sector right here? What happens if we have a problem in this section right here? So what happens when we connect our power supply? So the current is going to come here, it's going to provide these circuits the voltage. But if we have a problem right here, we are going to have a consumption, because remember, heat is consumption. Consumption. It's hard to me, this word. I'm going to train this word, consumption. So if we have a circuit that is having some problem inside, or imagine that this phone is water damage and the water is going inside, and now some pads are attaching together. So we have a problem inside of this phone, inside of this circuit. But because this is no ground, we don't have anything right here. In diode mode we have 350. So in diode mode is good, because it's some circuits that are leaking my current because it's going hot. Okay, so what I did in this motherboard is I just damaged this circuits right here. See, I just damaged this circuits right here. See, this circuit, I just damage this circuit. And this circuit, see this circuit, I'm going to come back right here. This circuit is attaching to VDD main. So when I connect my power supply to my phone, so these circuits in the first step is having 4 voltage and 5 amps. So if these circuits have some problem inside, or if it's water damage in the bottom or something like that, when these circuits receive the 4 voltage and the 5 amps, so this is going to have a heat, or providing some heat, and the heat is going to show me I have a problem on my power supply. So, and then you can use rosin, you can use thermal camera. I'm going to show you another easy steps to find these short circuits. Okay, so this is our third example. I have another one right here. Okay, see this one. This one, I'm going to connect my battery. I'm going to power on my box. Remember, I'm not pushing the power on button. I'm just connecting my power supply. So I'm going to connect my power supply. See the consumption right here. See, I have 4 amps. So this, I have a big short here, a big circuit short, or short circuit. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to always do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to check, for example, battery. See, I have good battery. Now I have main is good, and now I have boost is good. Why I have 4 amps of current and I don't have a bad line in diode mode? So the first example, we know this, right? And the second example, so imagine this. We have a line right here. This line, we are going to call this line main. This line provides the voltage for one coil. And this coil have a diode right here. And this diode have a capacitor right here. And the name of this line is X, okay? Like Elon Musk. And main, if we have 4 voltage 5 amps, so this one is going to come right here, is going to pass the coil, and it is going to pass the diode, right? And then if we have this bad capacitor, so all the current is going to come right here. And because it's a different line, just because we have 2 components in series, so right now we can have a main without problem, but this line is providing the 4 voltage to this capacitor. So that's why we can have a short right here. So you always had to know this one, because when you have a problem, you have the 3 lines good, so you have to start thinking, okay, can be some circuits or can be another line with another name, but this line is attaching in some way with the principal lines. For example, if we have this one, so see this one, okay, see this, see, I'm going to come right here, okay? So imagine this. Imagine I have this VDD main right here, and right here is a coil that we call for Trinity, okay? This, we have a coil right here, okay? So this, because it's a coil, is just like this, and we still have main right here, and we have main right here. So if we have 4 voltage right here, we are going to have 4 voltage right here. And then what happens if, for example, I have one of these capacitor bad? So because I have 4 voltage right here with 5 amps, so I'm going to have a problem right here. If you see what I did in this motherboard, I just put in short this capacitor right here. See, this capacitor is in short. And if we come back right here and we check which capacitor I put in short, I put this capacitor in short. See, I put this capacitor. This capacitor, see, is this one. So main is right here, and then is a coil right here, right? And so main is coming this way, and we have a problem right here. So right here we have good, and right here we have the problem. But because we have a diode right here, when we check main, this one appears with no problem because the problem is in another line. But remember, always when you have a consumption, when you just connect your power supply, don't move from the principal lines. Don't move. Don't go to PMIC, don't go to CPU. No. Just think and check and use your multimeter to check, right? Okay, if I have a consumption and in the first step I just connecting my power supply and boom, I have a consumption, okay? You have to check battery, main, and boost. All these 3 are good. Okay, start checking circuits. All these are good, so start checking another lines that are attaching with mains with some resistor, or some diodes, or some coils, okay? This video is so important because some people they fight a lot because they don't get it, and sometimes they make so many mistakes because they are thinking, okay, I'm going to check CPU, I'm going to check on PMU, okay? This is the first video of a series that I'm going to show you how to approach an iPhone that is no power on, okay? The first step, I don't care if I have or I don't have any consumption. I always check my principal lines because the principal lines are coming, okay? These lines are coming to our PMU, okay? So the principal lines are coming to our PMU, and they are to have good voltage and good current. Okay? Because and then we are going to press the button, power, and the PMU had to start working. But the first step is checking the principal line. And if you have just connecting your power supply at consumption, so you have a problem and the principal line don't move. Just checking with the methods that I show you right now. Okay? So just leave your comments and say, Edgarito, we understand everything. Please upload the second video of this series of iPhone power thing. Okay? Okay, guys, me voy. Adios. See you in the next video. Adios.